Back to the channel, and if it's your first time checking me out, we basically talk about all things money here. So I'm talking credit cards, credit unions, grants, crypto, real estate, side hustles, grants, and travel hacks. If any of that stuff's what you're into, go ahead and smash the like button right now, subscribe and share, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when something new is coming your way. All right, in today's video, I want to talk about a subject that really needs to be touched on because a lot of people are finding themselves in a little hot water with it. And that subject is being added as an authorized user to a credit account. So being added as an authorized user is beneficial primarily to the person that's getting added as an authorized user because you get to benefit from the credit history of the person that you are being added onto. So the length of that credit history and the on-time payments. These are the two things that primarily benefit you and your credit score. So you want to make sure that that person whose credit you're being added to has a good history of paying, and they keep their utilization low, and preferably you want the card to have some history to it. But crackdowns are being done by certain credit card companies because some people aren't just adding like a friend or close friend or family member, like a spouse, child, or maybe a sibling or something like that, that you're just trying to help get their credit in order. There are people that are actually selling trade lines. So for instance, they might say, well, for $800, they'll put you on their Citibank card that has a $20,000 limit and less than 5% usage for the next 6 months. And after your 6 months is up, then they may repeat that with someone else. The problem becomes when Citibank or whatever that credit card company is, they can start cracking down and maybe because of the history of the constant revolving authorized users, they can say, hey, this person's selling trade lines, and you wouldn't get your money back from that person if their card is shut down, and their card could be shut down. And of course, you would no longer benefit from that history. It's just really kind of a dangerous thing. I would advise people to stay away from it. So I did a little digging, and every different company kind of has their own layer. I'm going to just share a couple with you as far as what they do and as far as cracking down on that and reporting to credit bureaus and all things of that such. The first one we're going to look at is Discover. Now, Discover is, does things a little bit differently than, say, your typical MasterCard or Visa. I mean, that's why they're Discover, right? But let's look at Discover's first disclaimer regarding credit card and authorized user, okay? So I have it up here, and it says that this particular account has no authorized users, but you can get up to 5 on your account. And as you look down at the asterisk, it says Discover reports the account credit history to the 3 major credit bureaus for you as an authorized user. Of course, this can help you build the authorized user's credit history if used responsibly. Late payments, delinquencies, and other derogatory activity with the credit card accounts and loans may adversely impact, of course, the regular account holder and the authorized user's ability to get a higher credit score or build credit. So basically, if the primary account holder is responsible, then you'll benefit from their great history. If they're not so responsible, you won't be held liable for the debt that they build, but your score will start to suffer because their irresponsible usage is going to be a reflection on you because it is reporting to your credit bureau. So at the very least, you're going to end up having to remove yourself as an authorized user. And if it was one of those pay-to-play situations that I talked about earlier, you just be out of money and you still wouldn't get accomplished what you want to get accomplished. Let's look at Discover's kind of part 2 to their disclaimer because it goes a little bit deeper. All right, I have it up here. So it says, Discover wants your social security number. They want you to be 15 years of age or older. They do also have an option where if you don't know the person's social security number, then I think they ask for address and things of that nature. And they actually send some type of correspondence to the person that you're going to add. Here's where this gets a little dangerous if you're doing this pay-to-play situation, because in most cases, the authorized user never gets an actual card when they're paying to have it turned on. They just get the usage of the actual account showing up on their credit report. So it says, as a primary account holder, you are responsible for all charges made by your authorized user. When you request to add a user to your account, you're confirming that the information you provided is correct, and you are adding them for the purpose of making transactions on the account. If you provide inaccurate information or adding them or not adding them to use the account, we can close your account. So basically, they're telling you that they can close the account if they think there's anything scammy going on here. So you really have to be very careful. So I even followed up with a phone call to Discover customer service. And what they told me was the actual address of that authorized user is where they actually send that card, because they are adding them with the intention of them making purchases on the account. So you really have to read the fine print if you were going to participate in something like a pay-to-play to have authorized user. I don't really recommend it, but I know some people are going to do it. And that's just kind of like a little heads up for you to know that this is what you'd be up against. Now, every company is a little bit different. I'm going to put up a disclaimer from Capital One now, who actually runs and is the card issuer for several companies like Menards, which is home improvement, as well as Walmart. Those companies are serviced by Capital One. So let's take a look at the Capital One, sort of like their disclaimer, and we'll talk about it real quick. So I have it up. It looks like with the Capital One, you can choose the access level. Now this is with Menards. So you can, as the account manager, you can give them full access, or you can just have them set up as a authorized user with limited access, and make sure that, they want you to make sure your loved ones have access to the funds when you are tied up elsewhere, but they do not have their own login, but they do receive their own card, but it is sent to the address that the account holder has, not the address of the authorized user person. Plus, you can lock their card up at any time. So if there's ever a falling out or anything like that, you could choose to just turn their card off and not give them access. And if you need to, follow it up with a phone call to customer service and have that card deactivated, or deactivated online if that's available. So, hey, authorized users can be a really good thing if you have someone that you trust that is doing right with their credit. You can really benefit from it. But in the situation where you're doing the pay to play, all I can tell you is be careful. I don't recommend it, but I know people are going to do it. Some credit card companies are cracking down on it, and it's going to have a very negative impact for that card holder. It could get their account closed, and then for the authorized user who was trying to benefit from the particular account holder's good credit. So last but not least, should have said this at the beginning, but I didn't. I'm not a financial advisor. This information is for informational and education and entertainment purposes only. Please do your own due diligence, but do know that I am not a fan of authorized users. When I did my credit rebuild, I did it from scratch. I never was on anyone's account. It can be okay if you choose the right person, but I did it the old-fashioned way. Started off with a secure card, and when I got to the point where I could flip that to unsecured, I worked my way up from there. But that's information for you to consider as far as if you're thinking about doing some type of activity as an authorized user, whether you're going to make someone an authorized user or become an authorized user. So, as always, I do approve the message that I just shared with you. If you found value in the content, please hit the subscribe, like, share, support the channel. Also, pop the notification bell. And on that note, guys, I'm out until next time. Peace.